Welcome to the Wasteland Workshop Origin Series. This is hovercraft build number 4. This was a Revell kit. The 32 Ford 5 Window Coupe was a great kit. Had a lot of options. Not many for hovercraft, but we'll let that slide. This was done back in 2017, and years later, this is still one of my favorite builds that I've done. I love this car. The weathering came out pretty much the way I wanted it to. It's not too overdone. That chop top looks sweet. And I'm really happy with the color scheme. But what really sets it from the rest is the fact that it's a single seat car. It just looks really cool. Kind of knocks it out of the park. The two turbines in the front are similar to the 37 Chevy that I did. I took these off an A10 Warthog as well. The scale was different. It was a Revell 1/72nd scale Warthog. The size difference is quite obvious. They fit this car much better. If you look back at that video, my first video in the Origin series for the 37 Chevy, you'll notice those A10's turbines are huge. Those were off a 1/48 scale. I modified the turbines from the Warthog by adding this white cover with bolts. So it's an access cover. And then I added fuel lines. The grill was custom made from pieces of styrene, and the piece of trim custom made. The front lip is made from styrene slats, and I've put the bolt heads on. To date, this is the only hovercar I've made that has landing gear of any kind. The two skids in the front, those were the original bumper. I've mounted them with hydraulic levers, and the two plates in the back make this thing come to a grinding stop. Hey, it's something. And just for you guys, I'll show you how this mounts. So I do like to use the original suspension, and I've got the original peg that would go into the back of the wheel. I cut a piece of styrene tube for the back and made a little bracket to hold that styrene tube. And it fits snugly around that peg. Still gives it a little movement. I used thick styrene sheet on the rear to make the intakes and the exhaust. This is styrene sheet. You can buy this at a hobby store or online. This whole rear of the car was made from styrene sheet. The taillights are made from styrene tube, and I melted the clear red sprue you get with models for taillights. I melted that into the tube. After I had sealed the door off, this side was blank canvas. A lot of real estate. There was so much space there I needed to put something, so I added these two pipes. They look like they're welded at the seam, right on that bracket that holds them, that plate. And you can see here it's on its landing gear. These steel plates in the back and the skids in the front. Here's a look from the top down so you can see the side intake. Alright, so let's look at these flaps, these fender flaps. When I mounted the turbines, the exhaust was interfering with the fender. I cut that off and then mounted them with hinges and a linkage. So they work as flaps for control. The linkage would be controlled by, a lever in the cockpit or the flight controls. Now let's take the hood off. It's a 3-step process. 1, remove the fuel cap. 2, remove a linkage. And 3, spin it around and remove that other linkage. Remove this linkage if you can do it. Then take the hood off and reveal the aluminum fuel tank and flight computer. This thing burns a lot of gas. You need a big fuel tank. So this flight computer, any guesses where it came from? It came from a 1/25th scale Ford Raptor Revell kit. It was the instrument cluster on the dashboard, the infotainment center. I cut it out and mounted it under the hood here and put a blue transparent screen on it to resemble a computer screen. So that's your flight computer. This thing's got technology. It's high tech. This trunk fits really tight. So high tech in the front and low tech in the back. In the old days, we used to call that a mullet. Now it's called living your best life. So this is a mess back here in this rear compartment. Really didn't know what to put back there at the time. I just put wires and hoses and gadgets and hope for the best. And I'll be honest, if I had to do that over again, I probably would make that look a little more cool.
You feel that steam heat coming? That's from my undercarriage.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look at that undercarriage. I tried to use as much of the original suspension as possible. I showed earlier how the turbines fit on the suspension. So they still have all the shock absorbers and everything hooked up. Here's the landing gear. You can see the bumpers, the front bumpers, and the rear plates are gouged from skidding along. As you come in, shooting sparks 20 feet behind you, making a grand entrance every time you land. Some access covers, an oil pan, a lot of hoses. You can fill a lot of space with hoses, pipes. That's all styrene rod. There is some heat shrink tube under there. And like I said at the beginning, it's one of my absolute favorite. Just everything about it turned out pretty cool. And many of my first builds, my hovercar builds, have visors. Big fan of visors. With this car, I made the world's smallest visor, little baby visor. And so let's talk about the weathering. I did the sanding technique on this one. Painted the first coat a dark rust color, then painted the rest of the car white, sort of to look like a primer coat, and then painted red on just the red areas. Once it was dry, I wet sanded it, sanded down through the red, through the false primer coat, down to the rust, and that's how you get this gradient. And I added soot to the sides to show that a lot of fuel is being burned. Got quite a bit of soot on there, but it looks really good. So that's build number 4 of the Origin series. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like and subscribe buttons as they'll help the channel grow. And please click the link above if you'd like to see the next video in the Origin series. Thanks for watching.
Okay, let's go.